Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have another comparison video for you guys. You really seem to like the last one, and if you like the style of video, please let me know down in the comments below and I can definitely do more of them. So today I'm going to be comparing the new Jackie Aina palette with the ColourPop Good Sport palette and also the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I got so many requests for both of these because, let's face it, so many of us have a ton of makeup and it's always a good idea to make sure that we don't have similar palettes in our collections before we buy something new. So why don't we go ahead and start with the Good Sport palette first. This one is $16 for 12 shades, while the Jackie Aina palette is $45 for 14 shades. I personally love the Good Sport palette. I've owned it since it came out last fall, and I just think it's one of ColourPop's best, most underrated palettes. I think it's definitely one of their more unique color stories. So looking at the two side by side, I can see some definite similarities, but also a few differences. Both palettes contain warm, rich colors, including purples, oranges, golds, browns, even green. On the other hand, the ColourPop palette has a matte yellow and a matte olive green that aren't in the Jackie Aina palette, while the Jackie palette has a matte pink and a shimmery red that the Good Sport doesn't have. So why don't we go ahead and do some swatches and see how they look side by side. Okay, so first I'm going to swatch all the shades that I think might be similar. First, we have Wild Out in the Good Sport palette versus Soleil in the Jackie palette. Next, we have Hooky in Good Sport and then Edges in the Jackie palette. Then we have Rookie versus Zam. Then Sista versus Big Wig. Next we have High Hopes and Ginger. Then Reckless and Credit. Then we have Hooked in the Good Sport palette and Sponsored in the Jackie Aina palette. Then we have Ebb versus Dollars. And finally we have Flow versus Pinker. So here's a quick look at all the shades that look similar. I really do think there's a lot of really close shades in here. And then here's a look at just the rest of the palette swatched out so you can see the full palette. The last few ColourPop shades are golds and a matte olive green, while the remaining shades in the Jackie palette are pink, red, taupe, shimmery purple, and then that white with the gold shift. All right, so moving on to the Desert Dusk palette. This one is $65 for 18 shades and also appears to have very similar rich, warm tones. So the first shades we have swatched together are Nefertiti in the Desert Dusk palette and Soleil in the Jackie Aina palette. And then next up we have Eden and Supreme, which are actually quite different from each other once they're swatched. Next we have Saffron and Pinker. Then Amethyst in the Desert Dusk palette and Big Wig in the Jackie palette. And then next we have Retrograde and Sponsored. These two are also not very similar at all once you swatch them out. Next we have Cashmere and Lituation. And then Turkish Delight and Wigglies. Then we have Twilight and Shookington. And then Amber and Edges. And then last but not least, we have Oud and Credit. So looking at all the shades together, I actually don't see a lot of similarity between these two palettes. I definitely wouldn't call them dupes. Both palettes have warm, rich tones, but I do think that the Jackie palette is a bit deeper and richer overall, and I also like that it has the greens in it too. Alright guys, so overall I think that the ColourPop Good Sport palette is definitely more similar to the new Jackie Aina palette than the Huda Desert Dusk palette. If you already have Good Sport, you already have probably a lot of the same shades in your collection, but if you have Desert Dusk, I would say there's enough of a difference here to make getting the Jackie Aina palette worth it if you have your eye on it. As far as my favorites, I would have to say Good Sport is probably my top pick, mainly because I like ColourPop's formula a little bit better than ABH's. It's not as powdery and crumbly, not as much fallout. I think it's just a really good mix between the super dense shadows of Huda Beauty and then the super soft ones of Anastasia. It's kind of right in the middle. So anyway guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and also please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like seeing makeup comparisons and dupes as well as makeup reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!